Welcome, everybody, to the Hoops Post Up. Today and this week, we are talking NBA's risers and fallers, why you should keep them, and why you might want to think to ditch them.
That's right. Risers, fallers for week 5. I believe it. We're already a month deep into the season. Talk about some latest trends the last couple of weeks and who should catch your eye on the waiver wire and who might just be time to let go. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody. As you know, I'm Pierre. This is Velma, my gorgeous wife, and basketball fanatic. I think she's probably more of a fan than I am. You might notice the Spurs swag moved to the top. I was told that they should take precedence. So yes, the Coyote is watching over us all.
Happy wife.
Yes, happy wife, happy life. Fortunately, not happy Spurs fan. We're actually going to touch on that topic in a little bit. Oh, you knew it was coming. But, you know, we always start with a positive. Let's get to the risers.
Someone getting fired? Is someone getting traded? Maybe we should talk about that.
Yeah, that's a different episode. Look out for that. Trade machine coming. But let's talk about the risers first. Some guys that might catch your attention. There's so many injuries. You feel like this year there's more injuries than ever.
Right? I don't think anyone was really managing, conditioning, trainers. I don't know. Maybe we should start looking at the trainers.
That's a good point. I don't know what it is unless we talk about this generation being a little...
weak.
Different. Well, yeah.
Sorry, did I say that?
All right, turn off. All millennials going to turn off this post. No, load management's a thing, right? But it's not just that. There are some more serious injuries to star players. A lot of big name players out multiple weeks.
I
guys
think
are filling the
athletic
gap.
trainers. I don't know if we're taking care of our players.
Maybe
behind the scenes.
But either way, some guys are missing, and we need someone to fill the gap. So let's take a look at who might be worth your attention in fantasy leagues, and we'll start with those in more shallow leagues with higher ownership, and then go down the line for those of you in super deep competitive leagues.
First up, we have Evan Fournier, from Orlando. And last couple of weeks, we've seen an increase in his points, right? He's getting a little bit more playing time, but why? Well, Gordon and Vucevic are out, and Vucevic, actually, I think they said, 4 weeks, right? Ankle injury?
At least 4 weeks. Well, that's the latest we heard. So Vooch, invisible bully, Vooch, he's going to be out for a while. Ankle injury. Gordon, I think it was the same game. Even they both had ankle issues. Gordon looks like might be back fairly soon. So that's not a big concern. Of course, if he missed a lot of time, that would help Fournier probably even more. But Vooch he's the basis of their offense, really. So either way, Fournier going to see his shots, his usage rise, and that's good. This is a talented player who's kind of now starting to come into his own a little bit, and you can see there that the points are going up.
Well,
he's shooting
and 5
lights out.
assists, right? So tell us, because I'm not a fantasy expert, I'm still learning. Tell us why we want to add Fournier. We know his numbers are going up. We know he's getting more points, but where do we place him? How do we make him work for our league?
Okay, so the main thing is scoring. I know last week, if you looked at our stat sleepers, we broke it down by category. Those of you in roto leagues, we talked about who can help you in points, who can help you in assists, rebounds, blocks down the line. Fournier, again, more of a scorer than anything. He's not going to dish out 10 dimes a game. I don't think anybody does that anymore. But if you look, mainly we're talking about 5 assists. That's not bad, but the threes. That's what's going to help you.
60%.
I mean, obviously that's not going to last, but last 2 weeks, 3-point percentage is looking pretty good.
Spike.
Yeah, a little spike, and sometimes that's all you need. A week or so, give you a boost.
You want to beat your worst opponent, the guy who's talking trash online.
Well,
I don't know.
So sometimes you have extra motivation. But here's the thing: if you're in a weekly head-to-head league, then yeah, definitely a guy. Now, of course, 71% owned, so he's not available probably in 12 to 14 leagues, team leagues most of the time. But if you're in a more shallow league, then hopefully he's available. But this is a guy who's definitely going to get some more run than usual.
Excellent. Next up, we have Willie CauleyStein from Golden State.
I don't think there's been a week. Has there been a week where we didn't have a Golden State player?
We've talked about Golden State quite a bit.
And
And
There's a reason.
yeah, but we've had him on both sides, right?
Well, that's true. That's true, both sides. But there's always somebody, he's going to get more usage. Well, they all have to get more usage, right? Okay, so CauleyStein, though, out of all of the Warriors that are still left, like warm bodies that are still available, he's the guy who has the best pedigree by far.
I see 7 rebounds. Is that why I want to pick him up?
Most of the rebounds, not going to be a big time scorer, and you can see not even double digits in scoring even the last couple of weeks. But you need a center, right? Centers.
Tell me how I want to play this guy.
Yeah, he'll slot into the power forward also, but you want him as a center. You want him for rebounds. You want him for blocks. And those numbers, they don't really look overly impressive, right? Not even double digits in any category, but it's getting there. And we know, like I said, he's a guy with a pedigree coming out of Kentucky. He was a top 10 pick. Not going to ever live up to that standard, but he's going to get a lot of playing time. Draymond just suffered another injury. So we don't know how much time he's going to get, off the court. This is a guy who's going to be solid, if not spectacular. So you need a center, fill in it.
All right. Next up is Langston Galloway from Detroit. Not hardly owned at all. So we're going to take a look. Last couple of weeks, his points have increased, right? 17 points versus what he was doing on average around 12, 13 points a game.
And now you look at those two sides, and here's how I broke it down. So we're talking about risers just in the last probably 2 weeks, maybe it's the last week or so, last couple games, depending on the player.
Always changes. NBA is so quick.
Yeah, of course. And we have still a pretty small sample size. So these numbers aren't going to be drastically different, but let's compare what they've been doing, overall in the course of the season versus recently. So Galloway, respectable 13 points, but lately, last 2 weeks turning it on, 17.7. He's had a couple of outbursts though, and here's the main thing that's not on that stat sheet is the minutes. He's getting a ton of minutes. He played upwards of 30 minutes the other day, and the other thing.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Well, for a guy, he started out pretty slow.
He's got to be loving that.
He's loving it. Detroit fans aren't loving their team, so that when Langston Galloway is like your main guy,
it's okay, Detroit.
That's a problem.
I'm feeling your pain.
But he's a guy. He's getting a lot of praise from Dwayne Casey, and so when the coach loves you,
yes, I've seen. Right, Dwayne Casey totally came out and was giving him all of this, huge,
just for nowhere. It's like that. I mean, like nobody asks or. What was it? Nobody said, and then Dwayne Casey. Langston Galloway's our best player. If Blake Griffin gets dealt, Galloway's going to have a lot more shots coming his way.
Wait for it.
Yeah. Bruce Brown maybe gets dealt. Who knows? But Galloway, either way, having some outbursts, and he's a guy who's definitely clocking some minutes. Help you in the 3-point category. So if you need a boost in scoring, he's a guy who's definitely available. If you look at his ownership, not even 30%.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk now Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, he's a rookie, isn't he? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Young gun,
and last two here, rookies. Barely owned, 5% you can see there, and rightfully so. Now, Phoenix has been a surprise team, got a lot of young talent on that team.
I've been so loving watching Phoenix play.
And it's funny you say that because we flip around, we got the league pass, and we watch the games, and I find myself turning to the Phoenix games more than anything. It's like, last year's, that's the last team you wanted to see.
Wouldn't want to see.
It's just Phoenix.
It's Phoenix. No, but this year, it's totally different. Totally different. Really enjoyable.
Now, Johnson, take also the fact that he did play tonight. Only 2 games, I think, on the slate, or 3 games. So take those numbers with a grain of salt. They might change. But if you'll notice, the trend is that the last 5 games, look at that uptick in scoring. And the 3-pointers coming, starting to fall, getting a little more comfortable.
Exactly.
Don't worry about there was a right knee issue. Thought he was questionable tonight. He still played, not a problem. So he's a guy who might start developing, some confidence. And
somebody
with Rubio
definitely to take a look at.
Someone to look at.
Yeah. Up next, we have Terrence Davis from Toronto. Wow, he's hardly out. Like, you can find him, pick him up.
Well, yeah. Now, we talked a couple of weeks ago with all the injuries. We talked about Kyle Lowry being out for a while, Serge Ibaka being out. Who's going to fill in the void for Toronto? And we listed several names, and he was not one of them. But you know what? Nobody thought he was going to be a factor, and now all of a sudden he's getting some run, and
He's
if you
making
look,
some noise, and
making
we're
some
paying
noise.
attention.
And this is a guy definitely under the radar because unlike Johnson, who's a lottery pick, not even drafted. So it's obvious that there's a reason why nobody's paying attention to Davis. But now it looks like the Raptors coaching staff is paying attention to Davis.
Nice.
So last
for
two
him.
games, again, take it for what it's worth. Could just be it could just be an outlier. But 35 points in the last two games combined, 7 of 10 from threes, and he's dishing some time. So definitely a guy to look for. And I'll just admit right now, I picked him up. When I was doing my research for this, I needed some threes in my league, and I picked him up.
Nice.
So we'll see if it pays
I hope
off.
that helps. All right. So, and don't forget, like, we're here, right? This guy's an expert. So if you have any questions with regard to fantasy, he doesn't give himself enough credit. With regard to fantasy, comment below, ask him some questions. I know he's helping out a couple of our viewers, and we appreciate that. So
yeah, definitely. Post your question. I got a trade question the other day. Hit us up with comments for waivers, trades. Of course, follow us on Twitter at
Hoops Post Up.
But now that was the good. Here comes the bad. We have risers. We must also have
Fallers. So here we go. Up. Oh my gosh, our first faller. We have my...
Let's just get it out of the way with.
This is painful for me. My Dejounte Murray is a faller. Okay, and I know you want to own him, right? You want him to be on your roster. But because they are keeping his minutes low, this load management, it's really affecting his game. It's affecting my team. So
It is? Hey.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Okay, so he hasn't exceeded 25 minutes yet this season.
It's all gentle.
He's only reached the 25-minute mark twice. There's been a couple times it's 19, 18 minutes. And it's smart, right? I mean, you want to take it easy. This is a guy who missed the entire season. You don't want to throw him out there and,
can't
put
do
it
that
low.
with
And
the
they don't need
ACL.
to because they got Derek White, they got Patty Mills. So it's smart. Like, I'm not saying that they should run him into the ground, right? There's no reason to.
Not yet.
But for that reason, he's not going to be as valuable in fantasy as we thought he would. It's not the talent. It's not the confidence. It's just
It's minutes.
It's the
It's
minutes.
his playing time. Yeah.
Now, you talked about it affecting your team. They're not doing too well lately.
No, actually, we actually have the largest losing record since before signing or getting Tim Duncan. This is unheard of. Like, for us Spurs fans, this is extremely painful. We're not used to this.
And literally every fan of every other team in the league does not feel sorry for you. But
No, they're loving it. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's
they're
just like-
oh, sorry.
yeah, oh, boo-hoo, cry. It's just like the Warriors fans are like, oh, everyone's loving seeing
Oh
the
my
Warriors in last
God.
place. But anyways,
Haters, don't hate.
haters,
Peace and love.
haters gonna hate.
No.
But anyways, I'm sorry. Did I say your team? Our team, the Spurs. I'm a Spurs fan too, right? Just Heat
Better.
first. Spurs aren't doing too well. Dejounte Murray. It's possible if they keep losing and they fall out of the playoff hunt,
Oh my God.
they're
Please don't
probably going to
say
play
that.
him. Well, I'm just saying they probably will play him less
Yeah.
because then they have no reason to risk him getting hurt again.
Right.
So just be careful. Not saying go out and drop him right now, but
My
definitely
hope
guy
is that we
whose stock
do
is
this
falling.
massive trade, and you'll find more out
Well, we'll
about
see.
that.
That's still not going to help Murray's stock. All right.
All right, so up next we have Joe Ingles from Utah. Okay, he's 62% owned. And the last couple of weeks, tell me why, because I'm looking at numbers and I don't think I would pick him up.
Well, it looks like why'd you own him in the first place,
Exactly.
right? But here's the thing. Look at the difference last 14 days versus the season is, well, not that big of a drop per se. I mean, the rebounds are up. 3-pointers, it's not that significant.
I don't think I would have
Difference.
had them.
You
He's
wouldn't have owned
falling,
them.
yes, he is, but I don't know if I would have had them. To
So
begin with.
here's the thing. Compared to last year's numbers, and we're talking about
Oh,
followers
that's
recently.
true. That's true. You based your stats, right?
I'm
Last
basing
year's
this on
going
comparing
roster.
falling
Yeah.
to the beginning of the season to recently.
See, that's my mistake because I'm not a fantasy girl. But
No.
yeah,
But I'm saying, think about last year. He was averaging 12.1 points
so
per
there
game.
is a significant drop for him.
So he's a fall already from last season, but it's getting worse. And he's a shooter. Mm-hmm. He's in a slump.
Is it lack of motivation or lack of confidence or a combination of both?
Well, here's the funny thing. This is we talked about your man Baines, right? him, Patty, and then Ingles from the Australian team did great this summer.
Yes.
With Baines, it like pumped him up and motivated him. He get the confidence.
He is on
He's beasting.
fire. Love seeing him.
Yeah, Patty's Patty. He does what is, but Ingles, it's kind of done the opposite. It's like it sucked the life out of him.
Do you think he's tired? It could be fatigue.
No, but you know what? I looking at it might just be, and this sounds crazy. He might just be getting old. Okay, he's 32. That's pretty old.
I was thinking like Jaren Jackson syndrome. He's not getting chubby, is he?
No, he's not. He's no Jaren Jackson. You're talking about senior. Jaren Jackson senior.
Senior, not junior.
Not junior.
Love junior. Keep playing.
Old school.
Nice, good.
No, he didn't get a fat contract or anything. This is just a matter of I think he's just hit his peak, because if you look at his career arc, his shooting percentage actually has gone down for, what was it, 2-3 years now?
Yes, it's been consistently dropping.
Thing is, since his age 30 season, his shooting percentage has started going down, and his value is three-pointers, right? He was like 44% from three-point land, dropped down to the 30s, and now, of course, it's not going to stay this low, we assume. But 29%, whatever he's shooting from three, it's just unacceptable. I mean, you can't have him. If you have him and you're hoping for a turnaround, keep him on your bench. But at this point, he's looking pretty droppable with this new mix of players in Utah. He's coming off the bench. He's not used to that. I think we can say bye to Ingles.
Okay, so before we move on from Ingles, I want to know, could it be that the honeymoon and he's feeling stagnant and stale being in Utah for so long?
That's an interesting point, because, coming into the NBA with 27 years old, he's been with that team for 6 years. Again, got Conley now, a different mix of players. Mitchell, it's his team. Maybe just not fitting in the way he used to. It's possible. It could be a combination of things.
Reminds me of somebody else we're about to talk about. Well,
who's that?
You tell me.
Well, let's see. Who
we
is
have
next
a
on the
faller, list? And okay.
Oh, that's a surprising name.
We have a faller, Danny Green. Okay, so when he was with us, I saw a little bit of a decline after he had been with us for a few years. We won the championship. And then the 3 years or 3 seasons after, his numbers dropped. It's like, did he get comfortable? Was he not putting in the amount of time and work in his game? Was he feeling, got my championship, gonna move on, be a little bit more
bashing again,
casual? Hey,
this is
I think he was working. I think he was focusing on the green room a little too much. A little too much. And I've listened to your podcast and I've watched it. And I'm still a fan. But I looked at your numbers, Danny. I'm talking straight to you.
Assuming he's watching. Yeah, of course he's watching.
I'm talking straight to you. But no, he's fallen a little bit in Laker land.
All right, let's just get this. Those who don't know, get this out of the way. Danny Green, one of her favorite players for years, for a while, and then now all of a sudden she's turned.
Because I did root for him. And
last year you were bashing and you were hating.
Did you not see me watch Toronto? I was cheering for Kawhi and Danny because it felt like it was my team.
It was this whole weird thing where she was rooting against them and then she rooted for them.
They don't want to hear that.
Anyway, so the point is, Danny Green, okay, in LA, you figure that's going to help, right? Having LeBron, dishing it to him. But, and now, here's the thing. You look at his career numbers, it's not like there's a big difference, because his shooting percentage actually, compared to his years in the Spurs,
it went up.
It's gone up.
He had a chip.
His best year, right, with Toronto, so he gone up and up. It's better than it was a couple of years ago, and it's not that there's a big drop recently, right? You look at 7 points versus 8.6. To me, I guess the reason I put him on here is because the opportunity isn't enough to warrant the ownership. And I say this as a guy who does own Green in one league.
Okay.
I'm not getting what I want out of him. Less than 2 3-pointers made per game. That's not really moving the needle. I can get that easily off waivers. If you look at what guy we talked about before, who's ready available, like Johnson or any of those guys.
Guy 3-point. We talked our riser 60%.
Yeah, exactly.
3 points.
So to me, it's just not so much that he's falling significantly from early season or last year. It's just I think he's just not worth owning at this point. His ownership is too high. There's plenty of players, and the Laker bench has done better than we expected.
Dwight Powell from Dallas.
Guy, again, who's about half owned. Again, not too many centers that can get you a steady supply of rebounds, blocks. Powell's not one of them. Averaging less than 5 rebounds per game on the season. That number
I'm
is
not a
going
Dallas
down.
fan, but man, do I love to watch their basketball. It's exciting now.
Well, and here's the
Luka.
reason. You
Woo!
just said it. Why is Powell faller? They don't need
Luka.
him. They don't need anybody. It's
Don't-
like everybody just get out of the way and let Luka do his thing. He's getting all the rebounds. Like, we don't need a
20 years
7-foot
old.
dude getting rebounds.
Oh,
Luka's doing it all, and really, honestly, that's the thing. Luka's he's grabbing the boards.
He can do
He's cleaning up.
everything.
He can do. So why
Wow.
own anybody else? Just forget it. Don't own any Dallas player.
Okay, and then we have to talk about Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, look
I
at
know
it.
it's only been a small sample size, a couple of games, and bless his heart, he's gotten Johnny Moore's number 00.
00. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that
long.
whole long thing on.
I don't know what that was. But anyways, I had to
Okay.
sneak him in here because, all right, look. Melo, and if you didn't listen to our other episode about where Melo
Yeah,
ranks all time,
We'll have it linked.
look at the absolutely in about 1 minute, you'll see the link to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. And some of my pals on Twitter who asked me for advice here, including my man George, was saying, okay, pick up Melo. And I said, I would wait. Let's wait and see how sharp he is. Not too sharp his first game, 4 for 14. So play it again just now, and a little better.
A little bit
He was
better.
6 for 15,
I
right?
know they were celebrating a 3 he hit.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, come on. Really, we're going to celebrate an NBA player who's making an open jump shot. All right, look. I'm not going to hate on Melo. I'm not going to repeat what we said in the other episode. You got to watch that. But let me just say, we're expecting too much, and he's not going to help you in fantasy. I'm sorry. You can find a guy who can score you, double-digit points and not commit the turnovers and not embarrass himself on defense. Yeah, I know that doesn't matter for fantasy, but still.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, take a look. Okay, 2 games, 14 points per, 5.5 rebounds. Compared to the Carmelo Anthony that you know and expect, he's not getting you 20 points a game. Yeah. He's shooting 31%. Yes, that could go up if he kind of knocks the rust off. How much is it really going to go up? I mean, really, do we expect he's going to be shooting 50% all of a sudden?
We don't expect that, but you know what?
Sorry.
We'll watch. We'll watch it just like you are. We're going to see it unfold, and he has this new vision. He has this new renewed self. So maybe he does come out.
Maybe he does, but here's the other thing, by the way. He's on a bad team. I know that's hard to digest, but the Blazers are not good this year. They have no front court. He can play upward of 28 minutes. It doesn't mean that he's going to be Carmelo of old, okay? The Blazers are just not what they were last year. Sorry, I don't see him lasting the season.
If you are a Carmelo fan and you play fantasy and you're unsure, we'll keep you posted. We'll have him on a riser if he's there.
If he does it, we'll put him back on here. We'll
episode.
see. All right, so all you Melo lovers at me, go ahead. Tell me why. Tell me why you should be owning Melo. In the meantime, we will be back next week with some more stat sleepers. Check that out. And, of course, our Carmelo Anthony, where does he rank all time episode. Check that out, too.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Follow us on all social media. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love and NBA. Love you. All right. Peace.